Want smart analysis of the most important news in your inbox every weekday along with other global reads, interesting ideas and opinions to know? Sign up for the Today's Worldview newsletter. Earlier this month, CNN published cell phone and hidden camera footage from what appeared to be slave auctions conducted in Libya. The images, including video obtained by undercover CNN journalists, served as a jolt to the international community. They showed what seemed to be West African migrants being haggled over as merchandise by smugglers operating in what has become a haven for illicit trafficking networks. Does anybody need a digger? This is a digger, a big strong man, he'll dig, said a salesman in camouflage gear. What am I bid, what am I bid? Buyers respond with a round of prices. Within minutes it is all over and the men, utterly resigned to their fate, are being handed over to their new masters, reported CNN. Though some Libyan journalists have questioned the authenticity of the report, there's nothing new about the systematic abuse and exploitation that migrants experience in Libya. This summer, my colleague Sudarshan Raghavan chronicled the plight of many people who had hoped to make the Mediterranean passage to Europe, only to find themselves hoodwinked by smugglers and marooned in squalid Libyan detention centers. They flogged me, they slapped me, they beat me while I was on the phone with my mother so she could hear me cry, said Ismail Kant, a 25-year-old from Sierra Leone, recounting his torrid journey through the arid deserts of southern Libya at the whim of smugglers. But the CNN report, and especially its footage, has focused new outrage on the situation. Last week, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres declared that slavery has no place in our world and these actions are among the most egregious abuses of human rights and may amount to crimes against humanity. He called on Libyan authorities to investigate the crisis, while a number of West African nations withdrew their ambassadors from Tripoli or chastised the Libyan envoys in their own capitals. Protests also exploded in various European cities. On Tuesday, French diplomats pushed for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. A huge part of the problem, however, is that the Libyan state is a fragile mess, contested by what amounts to 3 rival governments and controlled in large areas by a patchwork of militias that pay fealty to no one. Ever since the regime of late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi collapsed in 2011, the country has become the focal point of regional smuggling networks, including those ferrying countless impoverished West Africans eager to leave behind deprivation and war for the chance of a better life in Europe. More than 150,000 migrants and refugees made the crossing to Europe from Libya in each of the past 3 years. And though the country's UN-recognized government of national accord said it was launching an inquiry into the alleged slave dealing, it stressed that Libya is going through difficult times which affected its own citizens as well, and argued that it was not fair to assume responsibility for the consequences of this immigration, which everyone unanimously agreed that addressing this phenomenon exceeds the national capacities. As shocking as it seems, it's indeed true.